If you work around software, you hear the acronym API constantly. It usually gets thrown around in a blur of technical jargon that makes it sound like invisible magic. But strip away the noise, and that chaos snaps into a predictable mechanical loop. At its core, an API, or Application Programming Interface, is just a messenger. It takes your request, walks over to another system to have a conversation, and brings the answer back to you. This graphic maps out the messenger system, your app on the left, an external service on the right, and the API bridging them. Every crossing follows a strict 5-step lifecycle. From a button click to data appearing, these 5 steps dictate exactly what happens. Mastering this specific sequence is how you track information moving across the globe. Once you know these steps, you can confidently explain how any two pieces of software interact. Step 1 begins with the client initiating a specific request to the API. In Section 6, each request carries an action verb, like get to retrieve data, or post to create new data, telling the API exactly what to do. Imagine you open your daily weather app. The second that app launches, it fires a GET request aimed at a remote weather service. At Step 2, the API halts the request for an identity check. Section 9 shows it demands credentials, like an API key or OAuth 2.0 token, proving your app has permission for this data. This security checkpoint acts as a digital bouncer. Without it, anyone could query a private database and extract whatever they wanted. The API ensures only authorized requests get through the door. Once your request passes validation, we reach Step 3. The API turns around and translates your approved request to the actual server. It is crucial to note that the API itself holds zero data. It is purely a middleman knocking on the server's door on your behalf. In the real world, your request must physically cross remote networks, traveling from your local device to a centralized data center miles or continents away. At Step 4, the server takes over, looking up the exact coordinates or temperatures you asked for. It goes into its attached database, fetching the raw information and carefully packaging it up for the return trip. Separating the messenger from the brain is deliberate. It's exactly why your lightweight smartphone doesn't crash when calculating complex flight routes. The heavy lifting is done by the server, while your phone just waits for the answer. That brings us to Step 5. The server hands packaged data back to the API, carrying it to your client app. Section 5 reveals this returned package arrives as raw text, formatted in a strict structure like JSON. Your phone screen doesn't display brackets and quotation marks. Instead, your client app takes this raw JSON code and acts as a translator, mapping the text values to the visual layout of your screen. It instantly converts this raw data into the sunny weather icon and the 72-degree temperature you actually read over your morning coffee. Because this payload is standardized, a database written in Python can easily share its information with a mobile app built for iOS. Delivering raw, universally readable data is the true utility of the API. Request, validate, communicate, process, response. That is the complete lifecycle of a successful API call. This exact blueprint executes in milliseconds, millions of times a day, powering nearly every modern digital interaction you have. You can use the reference framework we've walked through today to map out the software you use. The next time you book a hotel or load a map route, take a second to identify the client, the API, and the server. Your devices are firing thousands of these hidden connections right now, retrieving exact pieces of data from massive server arrays across the globe. Internalizing this 5-step architecture provides the structural knowledge you need to navigate technical discussions, design better solutions, and confidently map out how the digital world communicates.